the way I see it, I feel like the majority of those bills tend to focus on St. Louis and Kansas City. They always have. And when you look at St. Louis and Kansas City, you know, as the only two districts in the state of Missouri that the charters are allowed to operate in, and you think about what we're doing now because of our landscape and the inefficiencies that we now have as a result of the number of schools being offered for a small number of kids, it just makes it much harder, you know, to educate. It makes it much harder to make decisions because you got to take into account your competition. In a district that's whole, when you go out for a bond referendum or something like that, you're only worried about your one system. You're not worried about 21 other systems that are in your area. You know, I say this, and I say this with all sincerity. I don't oppose charters. I just don't. I don't, you know, I think parents have a right to choose what they need to choose. What I do oppose is when bills are being written in a way that gives charters an advantage over traditional public school systems. And so then when you don't have a level playing field, it's very difficult to compete in a competitive market. And that's what we have here in the state of Missouri. And every time they write these bills, they write the bills in a way where it totally slants towards hurting traditional public school districts rather than, you know, it being comprehensive in nature. So if I can't be competitive because state statute says you can't offer bonuses or incentives for people, that makes it hard on me to compete. And that's something I've been asking for since I've gotten here. Our charters get to do that because of the way that the bill is written. So I can go and interview a teacher and we can make an offer and we say, hey, we start at 40,000. A charter can come in and say, tell me what you think you're worth. And if the teacher says, well, I want 43, and they can justify that, that charter has the ability to do that. The same applies to on the Kansas side. Their laws allow for them to offer incentives to attract hard to staff areas or to attract, you know, more experienced people. We don't have that here in the state of Missouri. So that's a huge disadvantage in a very competitive market that I'm in. The other thing that I would say is of concern for me is just making sure that when you look at the annual performance report and how schools get their accreditation ratings, charters, because of the way that the bill is written, they're kind of exempt from that, right? That's not public, but everything we do is public. So a charter can be in a situation where they're not performing and can still, you know, grow enrollment and promote how well their school is doing because they're not held to the same accountability standards that a traditional system is held to. And so we, you know, like I said, for me, what I'm asking for is, you know, I'm not telling you to take anything away from the charters. Give me all the same flexibility. Give me the same flexibility that they get to have, and let me be able to compete with the same type of flexibility.